When you do an impression of Charles Oakley, is it somebody's going to go up for a layup and you hit him in the head with a 2x4?
We're a successful franchise right now. We are succeeding.
You got Steph scoring 60 and you can't get a win?
Do not make me a tribute video. Don't do it.
I do not agree with this philosophy, Coach Clifford. Lie to me.
People scoring 60, it's not good right now. 60 is killing guys.
We need to start the show off this week with two announcements. That's what's going to happen right now. For the first one, Zuri, can you play the music, please?
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. West side.
We did it. We fucking did it, Jason. Last week, the podcast awards were held. It's like the Emmys, but for podcasts. And there was a gaggle of competition in the best basketball podcast category. The titans in the game, the biggest of beasts, monsters, all vying for the title of best basketball podcast. And 6 trophies stood the tallest amongst them. We won. We fucking won. The perpetual underdogs against the elite in the industry, and we won.
Let's go!
We run the basketball podcast streets now. We sit atop the throne. Double kings. Jason and I alone, looking out over the land that we rule like Mufasa and Simba. You want the crown? You're going to have to kill us to get it, motherfuckers. You're going to have to kill us to get it.
I've always said there's only one sports-centric podcast award out there, and it's the Sports Podcast Awards.
I can't believe we won. We actually won.
I can't believe we won either. Shouts to everybody who voted for us and for riding hard for us. Thank you so much. It's an honor, as I always say, it's an honor just to win.
I thought we were going to finish in last place. I said the only podcast I want to beat, JJ Redick and Tommy Alter. That's it. I just want to beat them. How many nominees are there? 10? I want to be 9th. Yeah. That's what I want. And we won. We won.
We did it.
The second announcement, also cool. Mm-hmm. We were also chosen by Apple Podcasts for their monthly spotlight pick, which is very neat. If you're new to the show, listening for the first time because of that, awesome. Welcome in. Here at the award-winning 6 trophies.
That's right. The award-winning.
We're a once-a-week show. Yes, play the applause, Zuri. We're a once-a-week show that combines basketball and pop culture. It's the best. It's the best. It's voted the best. Did you have anything, Jason, before we get started?
Oh, no, that's it. I think you've covered it. It's comprehensive as usual.
We did it.
We did it.
Let's get started. From Wondery, I'm Shea Serrano.
And I'm Jason Concepcion.
And this is 6 Trophies.
Jason Concepcion, welcome to the award-winning 6 Trophies, a podcast series hosted by myself and the award-winning Shea Serrano, in which we comb through all the NBA news from the past week and then hand out 6 pop culture-themed trophies for 6 basketball-related activities. This episode, the Knicks are back. Some of our favorites get snubbed for All-Star. Steve Clifford, not a fan of his own team. All that and more. Let's hand out some trophies.
The regality. Is regality a word?
Yeah.
The regality of the horns. It finally makes sense as we sit atop the hill, the castle, whatever.
I was looking for all of the other podcasts in our space, and I realized I was looking level, and I needed to look down because they're all down there. They're just all down there.
Oh man, what's that like? What's that like? What's that like to be in second or worst place? I don't know. I only know first place. All of the other podcasts are all better than ours, by the way. If you should go listen to them. You should go listen to them. They're better.
And you are, judging by their YouTube numbers and other things. Shouts once again to the 3, 4, or 5 people who ask us every single week, when's the YouTube video dropping? We love you guys. We went from
3 to 4 views.
We love you guys.
We do 2 sets of trophies, the big trophies and the little trophies. The big trophies are first. These ones are the same every week. First up, the Denzel Washington and Training Day Trophy, given out to whoever it is who had the best overall performance of the week. This week's winner, the New York basketball Knicks. Wow.
New York,
wow.
The New York Knickerbockers.
Wow. Playing some good basketball.
They're playing some great basketball, and they did just lose to the Lakers.
That's okay. 9 in a row before then.
Shouts to Perez on X, formerly known as Twitter, who asked me, how does it feel to have the Knicks lose to the middling Lakers? I'll tell you how it feels. I'll tell you exactly how it feels. And I know there's Cavs fans out there that are going, wait a second, we're the hottest team in basketball. We won like 14 of 15. We just rolled over the Sacramento Kings last night. Yeah. That's true. But I just want to take you back to 2010. The Knicks are in disarray. The only hope that we're clinging to is that maybe LeBron James, who is entering free agency and might make a decision about where he's going to go, could come to New York, to Madison Square Garden, to the Mecca. And there were so many signs. LeBron wearing Yankees hats all around town to various games. LeBron announcing that the location for the decision is going to be in Connecticut, right in the tri-state area, the Knicks' backyard. And then, of course, he goes to the Heat. It was devastating. Fast forward to now, you've got LeBron James pulling out all of his Taylor Swiftian passive-aggressive stops to signal to the Lakers that there needs to be a trade, the hourglass, all of that stuff. You have him wearing Knicks orange to the game against the Knicks. You have him doing an interview with a Knicks towel draped across his shoulders. You have Rich Paul having a big meeting with Leon Rose of the Knicks to basically put an end to the feud, the long-running feud that's been going on ever since Phil Jackson very irresponsibly referred to LeBron and the people he runs with as a posse. And what does this mean? What does this tell you?
What does it tell me,
LeBron
Jason?
needs us. He needs us, and guess what? We don't need him. We don't need to trade for LeBron James. It would be nice if it happened for the right price, but we don't need it. But Clutch and LeBron, they need to drive up leverage with the Lakers to increase pressure, so hopefully they bring in a good player. Clutch is looking at the landscape and they're saying, you know what? We can't afford to ignore the Knicks anymore because we have players that we might want to place with the New York Knicks who are successful and winning games and the Garden's going crazy. And we have players that might want to go there. We can't afford to ignore them. And what a beautiful place it is to be. LeBron James and Clutch coming to make peace with the Knicks, not because of are we out-pettied them or anything else, but because we're a successful franchise right now. We are succeeding. We have built upon the foundation of good planning that has been put in place, and now you have LeBron and Clutch saying, "Okay, we see what you're doing." And I guess we need to come and smooth things out. And that is why the Knicks are the winner this week.
I thought it was really a really wonderful sight when Jalen Brunson finds out that he made the All-Star game. They interview him afterward. They're chanting MVP in the Garden. He's in tears. Like prior to this, the best Knicks team. I mean, you could say the '99 Knicks team has to have been the best.
Recent, last good team, yeah.
Right. And they were a very likable bunch, an underdog bunch that they beat the Heat in the first round, and they fought their way to the finals.
Lockout year, so things were weird.
They were super likable. The Knicks before them, though, the most famous version of the Knicks, the '90s Knicks, the Riley Knicks, were not if you weren't from New York, you didn't like the Knicks, is what it was. You hated the Knicks. You hated the way that they played. Right?
They played a brutal style of basketball.
But this version here, it's just all people you root for and want to be happy for and are cheering. I have two questions for you. Knicks related questions. The first one is, because the Knicks have been on this incredible tear, I started doing all right, well, let me make sure I'm tuning into the Knicks games. And then I watched for the first time the home feed. Normally you watch the national version or if I'm watching Knicks and Spurs, I watch the Spurs side of it. But I watched the Knicks feed 3 games ago. And it was the first time I'd done it. And whoever the cameraman was, I don't know if this is this like a common thing, but the camera was zoomed all the way in to like all you could see was Jalen Brunson dribbling the basketball and like whoever was guarding him, but you couldn't see anybody else on the court until somebody would come to like set a screen and the camera would back up. Is that every day, every game occurrence? What's going on?
It's not every game, but yeah, it happens with regularity. You know, the MSG has a very particular way of doing things. I think the Lakers kind of do it in a similar way, which is like the stage lighting where the crowd is dark and
that's cool.
And the court is like a stage with the spotlights on it and highlight the players. So yeah, that is a thing that they do.
The other question I wanted to ask you is, when is the last time you went and watched a game in the Garden? Have you been there during this run when they've been incredible?
Not during the run. I saw them play the Bucks ahead of the Christmas Day game. So they played the Bucks 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like 2 days before Christmas Day and then Christmas Day. And they lost the game that I saw, which is a run of, I think I've now seen them. I don't think I've seen them win in person since they beat the Warriors when Glenn Rice was on the team. Glenn Rice. Like that was last time. When I lived in New York, it was just that, there were some good years. Like Amari had come, but it was like, it's been a bad stretch until now. An up and down stretch, certainly mostly bad. And so it's incredible to be there when they're good. And December was not, they were the worst defensive team in the league in December. Mm-hmm. They've since flipped that where they're the best defensive team in the league in January. And so they did lose that game.
I would love to go to a Madison Square Garden Knicks game when it's rocking, when it's like the game when Carmelo hit those 2 threes, those like something like that, right? Like I want to be there. I want to go there. The number one place I want to go is I want to go light the beam. I want to be in Sacramento. I want to see a Sacramento playoff game. I want to watch De'Aaron in person. Those are my 2 right now that I want to go. I want to be in person for. Seems like a good place.
One more thing about Jalen Brunson. I mean, it's part of the reason he got choked up is he grew up in that building. His dad, Rick Brunson, was a bench guy for the Knicks. So there's a million pictures. You can find them online. And the Knicks did a wonderful like tribute video to Jalen when he got named to the All-Star team. And there's all these pictures of just like him as a kid in Knicks gear at the Garden on the sideline. All over the last week during games, you had Tom Thibodeau waxing poetic about what it's been like. He's known Jalen since he was a kid because he was an assistant coach for the Knicks during those years. And so he's just talking about how he remembered Jalen, doing impersonations of Oakley and Ewing and all these guys that just be hanging around. And now for him to be succeeding for his childhood team. I mean, this is the stuff you dream about when you're a little kid hitting like shots in the driveway. You're like, I'm selected by the Knicks, the number 1 draft pick. I mean, it's happening for him. And that's part of why he got choked up. And it's just like an amazing story. It's incredible.
When you do an impression of Charles Oakley, is it somebody's going to go up for a layup and you hit him in the head with a 2x4?
Yeah, you hit him. You just punch them in the solar plexus. And then as they're falling, you just throw them down even harder.
Next trophy. The Lauryn Hill, you might win some, but you just lost 1 trophy. Given out to whoever it is who had the worst performance of the week. This week's winner, All-Star Snubs. I like it. Here are the starters for the Eastern Conference team. You've got Giannis, Embiid, who's not going to be playing now, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard. That's the starters. And then reserves, Jalen, hooray, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Bam, Julius Randle, who's not going to be playing now, Tyrese Maxey, and Paolo. For the West, starters, LeBron, Durant, the Joker, Luka, SGA. The reserves, Ant, Curry, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Paul George, Karl Anthony Towns. They left a bunch of our favorites off, a bunch of our favorites that didn't make it, and I was super bummed about. I figure we can go through a few of them. What I would like to do is pluck a couple of names off the team and replace them, because that's the thing that somebody would be like, we got snubbed, but you got to take someone off to put someone on.
This is like LeBron. This is like when LeBron tweeted the other day for his fellow clutch client, Trae Young, saying, hey, look at what Trae's doing. Winning can't be everything. How could you not put him up? Okay, who comes off, LeBron?
Yeah.
Who comes off?
Who you taking off? You got to take him off. All right. So here are the some names that didn't make it on there. You mentioned Trae Young. Trae Young didn't make it. Derek White, Wemby didn't make it somehow. Kristaps, Sabonis, Harden, Scotty Barnes, Rudy Gobert, AaronFox. Like there are some real like legitimate cases to be had. These are some players who could be on there. Let's each kick off one player and put on one more.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Well, I think the easy thing to do is take off the guys who are injured right now. So Joel Embiid, who just had what is possibly a season-ending procedure on the meniscus tear in his knee. I hope not. Is gonna come off regardless, as is Julius Randle, who is going to be reevaluated in 2 or 3 weeks regarding the shoulder injury that he recently suffered. So those are 2 easy ones. Now, does that really solve the problem we have? Because to me, the biggest snub are, you mentioned the Kings. I think the 2 Kings are the biggest snubs for me. Domantas Sabonis is leading the league in rebounding. And
got to be in there.
And Fox has been like the most devastating clutch player in the league for, a season and a half. Now, it doesn't solve our problem because the 2 injured guys are in the East. But I named 2 guys, and now you have to kick off 2 guys.
All right. All right. Then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kick out Karl Anthony Towns. I love him.
Recent record-setting Karl Anthony Towns that I defended vehemently on here because everybody shit on his record-setting performance. They just shredded him for it, and I was on the other side. I love Karl Anthony Towns, but I would like to see. I want Wemby in there. I'm going to get Wemby in there. There was a stat floating around recently where, at 42 games into the season, he has more blocks and more steals than Rudy Gobert had for the entire season when he won his Defensive Player of the Year award. You got to have him in there. You got to have him in the game. I'm going to kick him off, and I'm going to kick out Kawhi Leonard. And I'm going to replace him. I'm going to replace him. and this, by the way, is completely unbiased. There's no
unbiased. It doesn't have anything to do with
nothing to do with
anything.
Okay, yeah. He's only playing like the best basketball that he's played in 6 years or something. Like,
don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'm going to kick off Kawhi Leonard. But since you got to cheat a little bit with your injured players who you were replacing, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to grab someone from the East. I want to see Derek White. Derek White deserves to be an All-Star.
I think he's a bubble All-Star. I don't disagree that you can make an argument for him to be there. Yeah.
He's a winner. He seems to always make the right plays. This feels like you got to reward a guy who's playing the kind of basketball that Derek White has been playing this season. Ever since he shaved his head, he's been a fucking monster. A monster.
Now let me throw this by you. Having multiple All-Stars from the same team, to me, that's only a thing reserved for you're good and you're winning. So like Cat, I get it, but like Cat and Ant, that's they're one of the best teams in the league. Anthony Davis and LeBron, I get it. Right? For the Lakers. Yeah. Okay. The marquee franchise in the whole association, with all apologies to the Boston Celtics. Do they need to? I mean, I'm just saying they are the middling Lakers. I understand they're on a 2-game win streak and incredible and absolutely hilarious victory against the Boston Celtics. Hilarious victory. That said, I feel like they don't need to.
Okay. Who are you kicking off then? AD or LeBron?
I guess you flip a coin. I don't know. Because I think you gotta AD. Let's take it.
It's got to be AD. Yeah.
You got to take AD off.
For the All-Star game, it's got to be AD.
Yeah.
Right. Next trophy. The Dominic Toretto, I live my life a quarter mile at a time trophy. Just given out to whoever it is who made a short-term decision with no regard for future consequence. This week's winner Oh my God, Steve Clifford,
Play the
head
clip.
coach
Barry.
of the Charlotte Hornets.
Play the clip.
Can we hear the clip, please?
One thing about the NBA player, if you want them to listen to you, got to tell them the truth. So I tell them they know there's little room for error. I also tell them the facts. I mean, our problems aren't their effort, their work.
They're not?
How much they want to win. Our problem.
What's the problem?
We're under-talented.
Oh my God.
Hey, guys, listen.
Hey,
sit
listen.
down. Sit down, guys. Good effort, okay? Good effort. Good try tonight. Listen, we got killed again. But I gotta level with you guys. A good effort, good execution. You guys really paid attention to the game plan. We're right there in film. I saw everybody locked in. Here's what's the issue. You guys suck. Talent-wise, you guys
stink.
are not good.
You stink. I do not agree with this philosophy, Coach
I
Clifford.
don't agree with it. I don't think that's
Lie
the
to
way to do
me.
it.
Lie to me.
Please
We're
tell me.
under-talented. Don't tell me we're under-talented. Figure something else. Say any other combination of words besides that to me, please. I'm begging you. Lie to me, Steve.
I don't want to hear that. I'm already thinking like, am I going to be in the league in 2 years? And now I'm hearing, no, maybe not. Probably not.
I got to hear
Like
that
you
from
guys
you,
are G
from the coach.
You guys are G League quality. No, just
from the coach. This goes up there. This is not as wild, but this is in the ballpark of when it was like 2008, and Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper on earth, the best rapper on the planet for a stretch of like 2 years, 3 years maybe, just going crazy. And Barack Obama was giving a speech, and he told kids, you're not going to be good enough to be Lil Wayne.
Maybe you are the next Lil Wayne, but probably not.
Like, that's what he said to children. The guy who's supposed to inspire the youth looked at them and said, well, you can never be Lil Wayne. That's Steve Clifford here. This sounds like the statement of a guy who is like, I'm probably not going to be coaching this team for that much longer.
Yeah, I think that's the way I read it. I read it as, hey, can you just fire me and pay my contract? I want the fuck out of this shit.
Oh man. Tough press conference. You respect it, but also lie to me. I would prefer you lie to me.
Yeah. Don't tell the team that they're actually bad, like genetically. Like in terms of the essential level of talent that they don't have it. They can work as hard as they want. They suck.
Like don't criticize me for something I can't control.
Yeah, come on.
Like this is like you're telling me I'm not tall enough. I don't have enough fingers or whatever. I need 14 fingers. I only have 10 fingers. I can't control that. I can't control the number of fingers I was given.
Incredible rant. I don't even know how these guys made the league, to be honest with you. Other than LaMelo, I'm not sure how these, and Gordon Hayward is at a Grieger, but he's old now. The rest of them, how'd they even get here? I look around, I don't even know.
Next trophy, the Daniel Plainview. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy trophy, which is given out to whoever it is we're temporarily giving up on for the week.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
This week's winner for the Daniel Plainview, I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my boy trophy. Homecomings. Homecomings. Jason, will you explain why homecomings are the winner this week?
Because we've had a number of players notably abandon their home or been traded by their home team, and a lot of them returned home to
Recently?
differing kinds of receptions last week. Dame Lillard returned to Portland in a
Portland.
loss. Shouts to the Doc Rivers Milwaukee Bucks, currently 1-2, have been down double digits in all of their games. You had Ben Simmons return to Philly in a win, with Simmons having 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a turnover, and be announced to a absolutely incredible, deafening chorus of boos. Really funny moment there where the boos were just like, whoa! And Nick Nurse, who was like engrossed in his whiteboard, he was just like looking at the scouting report or something, was like, why is everybody booing? And he looked up and he saw that they were booing Ben Simmons. So he's like, oh, okay. And then went back to like doing it. And then you had Bradley Beal come back and just Godzilla stomp the absolutely horrendous, terrible, just incredibly terrible and disheartening Washington Wizards. Overall, a fun homecoming with multiple welcome back and tribute videos being played. And I watched them all. Even though these games were not really good, I did watch them all because I'm a junkie.
Which reception would you rather get when you're returning back to the stadium where you used to play? Would you rather be cheered and celebrated like Dame was in Portland, or do you want to be just booed, hardcore booed?
Wow, I want to be celebrated. Like I'm not gonna try to be cool about it. I want to feel like my time there was. I want to feel good. I want to feel, and then we forgot to mention KD, who returned to the Nets and specifically said, "Do not make me a tribute video. Don't do it." And then they made him a tribute video anyway, which is one of the funniest things.
That's why he doesn't play there anymore. They don't listen.
What about you? What would you want?
I'm with you. I enjoy the guys who are like, I love playing on the road. I love hearing the silence and the boo, like Reggie style.
Yeah,
but
Reggie
I don't have that genetic makeup. Like if you start booing me, I'm gonna crumble. I'm gonna wither like a flower held next to a furnace. Just absolutely, I'm done.
Yeah, I have such a small amount of self-confidence, and it's so easily shattered, like an Oreo when you dunk it in milk and hold it too long. It just comes apart. Like that's what my heart is made of, is Oreo cookie.
Yeah, I saw one time somebody wrote a not nice thing about me on Reddit, and it hurt my feelings for like 4 weeks. I thought about that shit. I thought about it.
I'll tell you a fun story because it's happened so many years ago. When binge mode first started, right? And it was just coming out and people liked it. A podcast we did about Game of Thrones back at the Ringer. Our producer at that time screenshotted like an Apple review that was like, "These guys are great," but left in the review right below that review, like you could read it. That was like, "This guy Jason is the most annoying guy. The voices he does suck so bad. He stinks." And I was just like, "Oh."
It was Steve Clifford. He left that review for you.
And this was early in the run, and I was just man, does my producer hate me? What the hell?
That's a little Phil Jackson coaching right there. Just a little subtle, like just prodding you. Just a little.
You're good, but also you stink.
Next trophy, the Chief Keef. That's that shit I don't like trophy. We're just giving out to a player team who does something that we just don't like it. This week's winner, horrible, terrible, rotten. Embiid is out, injured. Zach LaVine is out, injured. Both require surgeries. I don't like it. We don't like it. What a devastating series of tweets to read or news bits to read. Just like, this fucking sucks. The probable MVP of the league, one of the most exciting players in the league, Zach LaVine. Like, what are we doing? Why is this happening? Why does this have to happen? It's been such a great season so far.
It really hurts. And, Joel's having the best offensive season that we've historically that we've seen in terms of scoring per minute and a bunch of other metrics, not to mention like the raw average scoring average that he's putting up. The Sixers are a legitimate finals candidate. They've weathered the loss of Harden in a fashion I think has surprised everybody. And so for this to occur, it's heartbreaking. And I think back to like my youth rooting for the Knicks when it was like, you just hoped that Patrick Ewing's bulky knees could hold up to the pounding of a season. And so often they faltered, and it's terrible to watch. And Zach LaVine, I will say this about Zach LaVine. There is something, it's notable that, at least for me, that as soon as he was linked, at least in the discussion realm, in the sports conversation realm, with a potential trade to the Pistons, who are, to use the words of Steve Clifford, under-talented. He immediately got surgery on his foot.
Yeah, real fast.
But-
hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
Yeah. Detroit?
But this
No.
sucks. Yeah. But this stinks. And I hope that the Levine surgery, it's potentially season ending, but best wishes to him. And this really stinks.
Yeah. The door isn't closed. That was the phrase that they used for Embiid. So fingers crossed. But at the moment, when he leaves, he's leading the NBA in scoring with over 35 points a game.
That's crazy.
Right?
I mean, that's insane. It's insane for a center.
For a center, on pace
It's
to join
insane.
Wilt Chamberlain as the only other player to average 35, 10, and 5 in a season. Like, just playing unreal basketball. We talked about him before, about him just enjoying being a big guy. Like, he plays a fun version of basketball.
Yeah,
He's just doing every single thing you need on a basketball court, he's doing, and now he doesn't get to do it. And it fucking sucks. Hit a 22-game streak of at least 30 points.
He's scoring like a 1 point something points per minute, if you want to look at it that way, which is an incredible amount of value to be adding to a team. Every minute he's out there, the Sixers are getting a point from him. Just a titanic season to this point, and really sucks.
And if you look at, he's missed 15 games this season so far, and the Sixers have lost 11 of them. They're obviously a completely different team when they don't have one of the 2 or 3 best players in the league shooting up for them. I hate it.
They got crushed. They got crushed by the Mavericks last night. It's very tough. Hopefully they can eke out some sort of 50-50 type or better record here on out, because at 30-19, they're still, by record, a very, very good team. And you just kind of want them to have that kind of playoff positioning and hopefully hold that door open for Embiid to come back for the postseason.
What if Tyrese Maxey now goes to another level? That's best case scenario. Is he becomes, I can be the guy, not the second guy. I can be the guy. I think he can do it.
The scoring is, he would have to become, it would be amazing. That would be incredible, because this has been a gut punch blow. I hope that happens, but my sense is it's a little early in Maxey's development. The leap that he's taken already has been such a surprise. I feel like that's something you'll see in like year 6 or something.
That's probably more accurate than what I'm saying. But I'm gonna hope against hope that he could do it. Next trophy, the Step Brothers Catalina Wine Mixer Trophy, given out to the thing we're most excited about for the upcoming week. It's here, baby. This week's winner, the trade deadline. Oh, yes. The NBA trade deadline is here. I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited
as well. And there's a lot of things that are intersecting with this. Bobby Marks had a really interesting piece, on ESPN.com about the added pressures of the new financial rules with the much more punitive first and second aprons, kind of locking teams down on what they can do trade-wise. What does that mean? That means that before those rules lock into place, you may see a lot of teams looking to do things that they won't be able to do in a year. You may see, not to mention, you've got teams like the Lakers who are under pressure from their star to make moves. You got teams like the Sixers, who just lost a superstar, who may be looking to buoy their chances. You've got teams like the Thunder, who suddenly find themselves leveled up to a degree that I think is surprising to not just everyone watching the league, but them. How close are they? What kind of things do they make a move now to say we're here and we're going to be a contender, or do they wait, see how this shakes out? You've got teams like the Knicks, who are injured but also need help with playmaking and ball handling and maybe some big depth. Very exciting. And then you've got players like DeJounte Murray and others who have been dangled in various deals. Bruce Brown. I'm excited. I'm hoping to see a lot of action.
You just mentioned them. This is the team that I've been thinking about the most is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm very curious how you handle a situation like that because, as you mentioned, they've overachieved this year. Like I say overachieved. They've played better than anybody probably outside of their locker room thought they were going to play. They're one of the best teams in the league, right? And they have a not completely unrealistic chance at making a deep run in the playoffs. You could say like we could do it. And so you look at that and you look how young they are, and you wonder like, what do you do there? Do you go get another player and risk possibly upsetting this like delicate balance of chemistry that you have already? Do you go get somebody, or do you? All right, well, we're doing better than we thought this year. We're gonna just enjoy this year as like a no loss year, no matter how we do. And then next year we're really gonna make a run at like what? Like it's very interesting to me
personally. I would stand pat unless something
really
amazing occurs. The Thunder, of course, have approximately 5 billion first-round picks. They have all the first-round picks that are available, that are sloshing around in the league in coming years. But they've gotten these incredible performances from not just SGA and Chet, but like Isaiah Joe is playing incredible. Like they've gotten all these other kind of performances. So can those players get even better than they've been? And I think the timetable is so friendly to them. Everybody is so young. There's no pressure on them whatsoever. So just like, let's see how they do with playoff intensity, where teams are like specifically targeting them, saying, okay, can we rattle Chet physically? What happens if we throw all our best defenders at SGA and see what the other guys do? Let's really lock down on Josh Giddey and see what that tells you, and then decide then to make a move. I think they're just like in such a enviable position, unlike teams like the Lakers or the Warriors who are like, fuck, we need octane, we need gas, and where are we going to get it from? They're in a position that I think every other team in the league would love to be in. So I would stand pat. What would you?
I would stand pat too. I would count on Jalen Williams in the playoffs being here we go.
I mean, he's a budding guy, right?
Yeah. He's really fun to watch. Chet obviously is fun to watch. SGA is obviously fun to watch. I like Jalen Williams a bunch. I would hold steady, same as you. But if they make a move, I wouldn't. It would like make sense in my head because next year, who knows? Who knows next year? You're here right now. Why not try right now? But also, like, why would you try right now? You know what I mean? What a spot to be
I feel that way too. I mean, listen, the league is capricious and cruel, as we see with the Embiid injury. But I kind of think they shouldn't think like that. Like, this is for more veteran teams should think, okay, what do we do today? This team, this age, with this core having come through all the losing, and now all of a sudden jumping up a level, let's just see I don't think anybody really knows what the ceiling is. So let's see what it is. Let's get a read on it. What about teams like the Lakers or the Warriors? I mean, Steph Curry recently came out and said, hey, we just have to be. Steph. We just have to.
He scored 60 points and we didn't even mention him until right now.
It's nuts. And then you have Klay Thompson, who, listen, I love Klay. I've loved him. His whole career has been so fun. He's been one of the most fun personalities in the game. Can reporters stop asking Klay how he feels after every game? Because I'm getting bummed out, man. Like, after every game, it's like, Klay, how does it feel to not close out the game? And he's just like, it sucks, man, to go from one of the best. It's like every game is like a therapy session on how Klay feels, and stop. Everybody needs to just stop. I'm getting sad.
That your basketball mortality comes running at you so fast. Like, so fast. They were not that long ago. The people were arguing, is this the best basketball team we've ever seen in the history of the world? When they were on their run, when they were 73-9, and then now you got Steph scoring 60, and you can't get a win. You got Steph scoring 60. You can't get a win.
I got to say, more and more, that 2022 championship looks like the most incredible thing that's happened recently. You have Andrew Wiggins playing the best basketball of his career. Currently, you can't even find him on the court at times. You had Bielitsa locking guys down. Did I see that? I feel like that now Bielitsa is fending off knife attacks in Europe. It was an amazing thing, all built around the greatness of Steph Curry, and the rest of it was just we didn't realize it at the time, but fumes.
Threadbare, yeah.
And they did it, and it's just an incredible achievement considering where they are now.
If the Celtics don't manage to win a title in the next 4 or 5 years, that's going to be the one that they look back on and go fuck.
How do we not beat that team?
How did we not beat that team?
Because honestly, no disrespect again to the Warriors. They deserve that win. But the Celtics were the better team. And you felt like if the Celtics didn't believe they were the better team, maybe they would have won that series.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Is that all the trophies? That's all the big trophies. Let's do the little trophies. These ones change each week and are situation specific. They're for the smaller storylines that we want to mention, but don't need to get all the way into. My first little trophy, the Get In Loser, We're Going Shopping trophy.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Oh my God. To Steph Curry, we were just talking about him. I didn't think we were going to mention him until right now. He scored 60 points in a loss and then gave his jersey to Lindsay Lohan's son. Lindsay Lohan, of course, and the star of the iconic, beloved Mean Girls. Get In, loser, we're going shopping. What a great. I was so happy when this happened. I was so happy about this. Just like a convergence of all of the things that I like and enjoy.
My first little trophy is the super bad People Don't Forget trophy to...
Okay, can you just get out of here and we'll talk about this later?
Fuck, Evan, we're down 2 points.
Fucking calm down, Greg. It's soccer. It's soccer.
Fuck you, man.
Hey, Greg, why don't you go piss your pants again?
That was 8 years ago, asshole.
People don't forget.
To Dr. Rivers, who has recently said of his selection to be All-Star East coach, that is, quote, that is ridiculously bad. Adrian Griffin and his staff should have got that. He should. And Doc has been harping on this. And I just want to shout out Doc because the Bucks, again, are 1-2 in the Doc Rivers era, have been down double digits in every single game, although did fight back in one of those to win. But recently lost a not confidence-inducing loss to the Jazz. But Doc Rivers, man, any chance he gets to remind you that Adrian Griffin was the previous coach and a lot of this shit is him, any way that he can do it. Oh, man. Adrian Griffin, yeah, he should be the All-Star coach because, let's not forget, he coached this team up until 4 days ago. So all the strategies, all the tactics, all the stuff that I'm trying to unwind, that's all him. So he should really take responsibility. He should be the guy to get the award for the shouts to Doc Rivers. I love the way you remind people that Adrian Griffin was the coach of this team. It's so good. Shouts to Doc.
The guy in the clip that Jonah Hill is talking to, it's an early cameo from Dave Franco, young Dave Franco.
Early Dave Franco.
Oh, man.
The wonderful Dave Franco.
He's so funny and so handsome. I wrote an article one time just about how handsome he was. That was the whole article. That was the whole point. He's a great looking guy. My next little trophy, the 3 days grace. I am not alone because misery loves my company trophy. I picked a rock song for you, Jason. I had no idea. I just thought I'd throw that in there. That trophy goes to Chicago Bulls fans. They're leading the league in attendance this year, despite the team being not awesome. Leading the league in attendance, and I respect it. Misery loves company. Keep showing up. Keep showing up, Chicago.
It is the largest arena in the league, but also shouts to Chicago fans who the team is letting them down in a incredible fashion. My next little trophy is the Master Wong in Balls of Fury. She is cruel, laughs at you when you are naked trophy, too.
She is cruel, laughs at you when you are naked.
For Michael Porter Jr. for the, I just play the clip, Zuri.
I know these females want to get paid more.
Already a bad start.
Already
and
terrible
they're very
start.
talented, but so is a famous ping pong player. They're just as talented as a.
Come on.
Like the best ping pong player is just as talented as the best basketball player. That doesn't mean they're going to get paid the same because
they play ping pong.
It's what the people want to watch. You know what I mean? So, as much as I understand females wanting the same treatment as men basketball players, it's a different sport. People, they're not packing out the arenas. Obviously, their TV deals aren't the same. So, as much as I advate for women and
do you? When have you ever?
I think you're doing the opposite right now. You're going the other direction.
Shouts to Michael Porter Jr. for an economics master. If you want to understand why he's wrong, you probably already do. But Kelsey Plum, among others, have added like various rejoinders to this really not good statement from Michael Porter Jr. Shouts to you, Michael Porter Jr., for one of the most notable own goals that I could remember. Why did you do this?
What a disaster.
As much as I advocate for women, when? Well, I get, when did that happen?
What are you doing? What are you doing? You're saying all of the wrong things. You sound like you think you're saying the right things, and you're saying all of the wrong things.
Females,
what a disaster.
When you say females, it's like
tough start.
Tough start.
Oh my God. My last little trophy. This is the Zac Efron in that one DJ movie where he screams, "Are we ever going to be better than this?" trophy.
Are we ever going to be better than this? Are we ever going to be better than this?
This is a long clip.
Are we ever going to be better than this?
Building toward it. He's emotional right now. He's got tears in his eyes. The crowd's watching what's going to happen. Did you ever see that movie?
I've never seen it.
Surprisingly emotional. Like, I'm joking and making fun of it right now, but during this scene, I got teary-eyed. He's playing a DJ set at the end of the movie. It's like what it builds to, and he's playing an audio clip of his friend. That's his friend who he was at a lunch with, and he was recording. He was like recording everyday sounds, and then he turns them into this collage of music at the very end. It sounds like it would be terrible. It's surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. Anyway, that trophy goes to Damian Lillard, who called leaving Portland the hardest transition of my life. And I think that transition that Zac Efron does there, the DJ transition from his friend's cue into the beat, super fucking hard. Super, super hard. And I love it.
My final little trophy is the Thanos I Am Inevitable trophy, too.
I am inevitable.
Whoops.
To 60 points. It seems like 60 would be good. Anywhere in there between with a 6 in front of the number. But look at what's happened lately. You mentioned Steph, 60 points with a loss. Cat, 62 in a loss, after which his teammates and his coach were like, what
set
are you
him
doing?
on fire.
Booker, 62 in a loss. Either score 50 or score 70, but stay away.
That's the danger zone.
That's the 60 in there. That's the sand trap. You got to either go 50, lay it up, go 50, or go overcorrect and go 70, but avoid 60 for now because people scoring 60, it's not good right now. 60 is killing guys.
We're selling scoring 60.
Yes.
That's an incredible take. That's an award-winning take right there, Jason. That's an award-winning take. We did it again. Another award-winning performance for those of us here at Six Trophies. Flawless from the field. We close every episode just by saying the names of underappreciated old basketball players with no context at all while the theme music carries us out. Zuri, will you play the theme music, please? I'm Shea Serrano. That's Jason Concepcion. Producer Zuri in the shadows making the noises. See y'all next Wednesday. Randy Brewer.
Oh, Knicks legend Alexei Shved.
Mike Dunleavy.
Oh, not one, not two, John Lucas III.
Tito Horford.
Shane Larkin.
Ooh, Brad Lowhouse.
Oh, DeAndre Liggins.
Ricky Pierce.
Celtics legend Phil Pressey.